Have you seen the price of kids' shoes? Shocking. And they're not just happy with shoes. Oh no, they want feeding and somewhere to live.
Kids cost loads of money, hardly an original insight, and not one you'd think that was particularly relevant to a programme about motoring. But wait a minute, could there possibly be a connection between the fact that full-size 7-seater MPVs haven't been the roaring sales success that manufacturers want, and the fact that having kids is a hugely expensive business? Well, presumably, if you need a full-size MPV with 7 seats, then that's because you've got loads of kids. And if you can't actually afford a full-sized 7-seater MPV, then that's because, well, because you've got loads of kids. But here, perhaps, is the solution in the distinctive shape of the Kia Sedona, a full-size 7-seater MPV that's actually affordable.
Well, let's face it, it's an ugly brute. But your sports car days are over, mate. Practicality should be your watchword. So, how practical is it?
Well, the rear is accessed on both sides by means of a sliding door, which is light and easy to use. The back 3-seater bench actually tilts backwards and forwards, but the middle seatbelt is only a lap strap. I don't like that, I've said it before. I think everyone should have a proper full-size seatbelt. These two middle seats, Kia call them captain's chairs, move backwards and forwards to vary the amount of legroom, and they spin right around 180 degrees so they can argue amongst themselves. Their most important feature, though, is this child catapult for particularly recalcitrant offspring. Moving around to the rear. Now, these days, most MPVs and 4x4s have a means of accessing the load carrying area via the back screen. Not so here. So every time you want to get into the back, you've got to open this big and heavy looking door. Although actually, it isn't. One finger is all you need to get it open. There's an admirably low loading entry area, but in their brochure, Kia reckon that this is enough luggage space for 7 people.
When in fact, this is enough luggage space for 7 people.
I think it'll just about take my wife's shoes. And if you're thinking of getting a dog, nothing bigger than a fox terrier. One of my pet hates, though, is this. To shut it, you have to pull down on this strap. Well, that's not going to work, is it? So what you end up doing is putting your paws on here and doing that, and they get grubby. It's bad enough the kids getting mucky fingerprints all over the interior, never mind the driver, which reminds me, I better drive it, hadn't I?
If you are in the market for a full-sized MPV with 7 seats, I always wonder whether there is actually a significant number of people out there who actually do need a full-size MPV with 7 seats. But if you do, then they don't come much cheaper than this Kia Sedona. And this is the GSX variant fitted with the 2.9 litre turbocharged and intercooled diesel engine. Only 4 cylinders though, 3 litres and 4 cylinders. That might be a clue to the vibration. Kia say that it's the most powerful diesel engine you find in an MPV. But I have to say that compared to the unit found in the Seat Alhambra, the Volkswagen diesel unit, it's very rough and unsophisticated and harsh, and it's blooming noisy as well. I nearly said something else then. For a vehicle of its size, height and weight, the Sedona doesn't corner badly at all, and Kia claim that it'll do 35 to the gallon in combined driving. On the open road, it's quite relaxing, and I think the key to getting the most out of it is to drive it in the manner that the manufacturer expects you to, with patience and precision. They tried to make it look very distinctive to get away from it looking like a van with windows, and they painted this one plum. It's horrible. Anyway, then you get into the interior, which is, it's from the school of non-design. I can't imagine that anyone actually sat down and said, right, I'm going to make the interior of this vehicle sexy and attractive and contemporary and stylish and ergonomically correct, and it's going to be one of the things that helps to sell this car. They actually said, right, how many switches have we got? Right, well, we'll put them in 3 rows, and the steering wheel can go here, just above the seat, between the seat and the windscreen, near the pedals, and yeah, 7 seats. What? 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and 3 in the back. That'll do, won't it?
With other manufacturers being so bold these days, the interior of the Sedona really lets it down with horrible imitation walnut and synthetic tacky upholstery. It really is quite revolting. But if you've got kids, then it'll hide those mucky fingerprints and footprints. The gear stick comes out of the dashboard, so you can walk through from the front to the rear if you're 3.5 feet tall.
The Sedona embodies those typically Korean values. It sells because it has a high specification and a low selling price, not because it looks gorgeous and it sets your eyebrows on fire with its performance, not because of the precise seat-to-the-pants feel of the steering or the neck-snapping acceleration that's available from the power source. It sells because it's cheap and you get lots and lots of kit for your money.
The Kia Sedona perfectly embodies the Korean way of making and selling motor cars. Give people a high specification and a low selling price and they will flock to your showrooms. But that isn't enough for Kia. They've decided that they'll shift more metal if they adopt a strange environmentalist stance. And to this end, every Sedona comes with a free bicycle, complete with an annoying and patronising message on the side. Still, at least it's a free bike. Mind you, that brings its own complications.
Yeah,